Kawikazi woke up on last night's episode, and listen, when I have been saying that Lazarus and Zoleka honestly are cruel and like humanity. Now, if one thing that reminds me of Linkamfa's funeral, it's the way that Zoleka and Lazarus were talking about Kawi waking up. They literally said that they want to enjoy this moment because the news of Kawikazi waking up may not be good news to Tomega and Hlati, which I mean they were not really wrong, but the way they were kind of boasting and gloating about it, saying they just want to have one day to themselves, no drama, and them celebrating their child waking up. Like for real, there is a mother who lost her son, and we cannot run away from that. Okay, the mother lost her son here, and she's grieving her son, and all you want is one day to celebrate your daughter waking up. Tell me if that's humanity. Tell me if that humanity, because you all have been saying that no, Zolega and Lazarus are not cruel. They're exactly that, okay? The way that Linkamva's funeral was held, it was so emotional, okay? Tumega made me cry at some point, and I strongly sympathize or empathize with Utumega, and not so much with Uhlati, not so much with Hlati. But anyway, guys, after the funeral, the Mabandla family came back to Gauteng. And why is Tandega and her family always and forever in Tumega's house? Like, Tandega now is joined with her son Xolani. We're gonna be seeing more of Xolani. But listen, the way they spent their time in Tumega's house, you would swear that they might as well moved in with Hlanti and Tumega, which I strongly suspect that they would. Anyway, when they were having dinner at night, Tumega walked out and be like, where is Linkamfa's plate? And you can tell that Tums is in deep down depression, okay, and struggling to cope. And really, there is no need for Zolega and Lazarus to talk the way that they are talking. Anyway, Umaboet, who is also on Luandle's neck, as to telling him that he has to confess, that he's giving him until Friday. Like, Friday, it's a lot of time, hey? Friday until confession, that's a lot of time. Like, Mawetu is being kind of fair towards Ulwandle. Ulwandle needs to confess if he wants to confess. And also Zetu mentioned that it was kind of nice and sweet of Ulwandle to show up in the funeral. And Zetu is like, I didn't know that Lwandle and Linkamva were that close, but anyway, it does not matter because it was really nice and sweet of him to show up in the memorial say verse. Yanga also seems to be giving Hlati attitude, which I feel like Hlati deserves it. I mean, Yanga is just kind of distancing herself from her father. I don't know what really it means. Could this mean that Yanga also feels like Hlati switched off the machine and he was unfair and he shouldn't have switched off the machine, and I don't know, like she feels a bit rejected in a way by her father's actions. I really wonder. But yeah, I think one thing that I'm looking forward to tonight's episode is to find out how will Tumega how will Tumega react in finding out that Kawekazi is awake now and she have a strong heart beating inside her, and also how well Kawekazi reacts to the news of finding out who was her donor, because she will find out who was her donor, and she will have a sort of some reaction, after finding out that actually her donor was her brother. And Kawekazi and Linkamva really did had like a great relationship, and to find out that Linkamva is no more, Linkamva is not alive anymore, and she is alive and she is using Linkamva's heart. I just wonder how is she gonna feel about that whole information. But yeah, otherwise, I don't know, guys. I really don't know. Where am I expected to go, Of which, honestly speaking, I kinda agree with Uhlati when he's asking the question, where is he supposed to go? I mean, Zolega signed up to all of this as well. Zolega wanted to give her marriage another try with Uhlati. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. Divorce doesn't work like that, okay? And something tells me, since they highly speak of lobola, something tells me that Uhlati and Zolega were married in community of property. So Zolega, if that's the case, you cannot just chase Hlanti away. You guys need to, find out how are you gonna separate or divide your estates, which in this case Zolega is the one who have more assets than Hlanti. So therefore, for example, like the house, if they have to sell it, they have to sell it. But 50% of Zolega's house belongs to Hlanti, and that goes for Zolega's debts. If Zolega have debts, 50% of those debts are Hlanti's debts, and vice versa. If Hlanti have debts, 50% of Hlanti's debts are Zolega's. So I'm like, Zolega, which world do you live in, ma'am? You were married, okay, and right now we are going through a divorce. You cannot just chase this man in the streets. You guys have to understand what are you sharing as per community of property, But then after they talked, I think Hlanti came to his senses and realized that love alone isn't enough to make a relationship work or to make a marriage work. So as much as Hlanti feels love for Zolega, and for a moment Hlanti got jealous as soon as Zolega was like, no, we cannot live together in this house. What's then gonna happen should I find someone else? In a split of seconds, Hlanti was jealous, asking questions like, Zolega, what do you mean by that statement? Are you with someone else as we speak? What's happening, in that department? Do you have another person? And of course, Hlanti denies having another person and says, no, he is very much a single. But that does not mean, it doesn't mean that he should be taken lightly or whatever. But Zolega still also said, listen, I still want you out of my house, okay, guys, Hlanti really finds himself with not much of a choice. As soon as Zolega said, listen, I want you out of my house, Hlanti finds himself really stranded, not having much of a choice, and definitely not having much of a say as to what's gonna happen. So he decided to honor Zolega, which is one thing that I respect of Hlanti. Hlanti decided that, what, maybe it's best to honor Zolega's wishes and to leave Zolega's house. And I'm like, yeah, definitely, Hlanti, maybe it's honestly for the best for you to leave Zolega's house. And I don't know what got over Hlanti, honestly. Somehow he thought leaving Zolega's house and going to Cosmos City to Mega's house is the best decision. And I'm like, okay, Hlanti, how did you reach that conclusion? Okay, how did you reach the conclusion that going to Mega's house is the best decision? So he went to Cosmos City, he knocked, and Kawekazi opened the door for him. And as soon as everybody else realizes that it's Hlanti, most were shocked. What is he doing around this time? It seems like it was really midnight. But as soon as the girls were shocked, including Tumega, Linkamva was not shocked at all. If anything, he was angry. And I'm like, yes, I am Team Lunkamva. Listen, Lunkamva and Hlanti bavele badudulana lapha emnyango guysini badudulana. Ulinkamva trying to make sure that Hlanti does not enter their house. And before you know it, Ulinkamva slams a door at Hlanti's face, and everybody else in the house is begging Lunkamva, saying, no, Lunkamva, you cannot do this, this is your father, you still have to be respectful towards your father. And ulinkamva means business, okay? Ulinkamva is just like, listen, that man is not my father anymore, okay? He made his decision. The day that he decided to abandon his family and go somewhere else is the day that he decided that we are nothing. And Hlatsi at this point is still knocking on the door, trying to get Ulinkamva to open. Everybody else, is trying to beg Ulinkamva to say, Ulinkamva, that's still our father. But Ulinkamva's anger is really just controlling him. Honestly, like I said, I am Team Linkamva. I think what he's doing is definitely right, when a father betrays you, a father betrays you. When people make their bed, they should definitely lie in it. Linkamva is not Linkamva meant to say Hlatsi no longer have a home within her children's home. Her children's home is her children's home now, and the man of the house is definitely Linkamva now. It has nothing and absolutely nothing to do with Uhlatsi as of this moment, because he made his bed. And Linkamva meant to say go back to the door. And he says, listen here, okay, one thing that you need to know and one thing that you need to understand as the fact that this is not your house anymore, okay? I am the man of the house here. I do not want you here, not now, not ever. And something just clicks on Hlatsi that definitely he is not wanted. Everybody else was still worried, including Tumega, and this is what angers Linkamva even more. Linkamva was like, listen, ma, at this point you have to choose. If you want Hlatsi back in this house, it means the person who's going, it's me. And I feel like at this point you definitely need to choose wisely. Who do you want in this house? And Linkamva did not come to play. Linkamva did not come to play. He was just like, you better make a choice, ma, and you better make a wise one, because I will leave this house. If that's what it means, I will definitely leave this house should it come down to me leaving the house. So therefore, Utumega, have to choose Ulinkamva at this point, because Ulinkamva have been nothing but very much supportive towards Utumega's journey of healing, self-discovery, back to self, whatever that you want to call it. But Ulinkamva has been a supportive child, pillar of the strength kind of a child, very much supportive towards his mom, in all this difficultness of Utumega trying to heal, find herself, find her voice, and all that, So yeah, guys, Uhlatsi end up going, and I don't know, by the grace of God for him as well, he finds like a small place. It is a 1-bedroom place, but it's a place. It's a place. And he feels like for a moment he could just be by himself and get a time to clear his head and think about his next move and all that. One thing for sure, the grass isn't always greener on the other side, and I guess Hlatsi is the living proof of that statement. He indeed deserted and humiliated and shamed Utumega for Uzolega. And it turns out that indeed the grass isn't always greener on the other side. And honestly, I do want my girl Utumega not to take Uhlatsi back. Like, that's one thing that I'm hopeful for. I'm just like, Tumega, tums. Do right by yourself and do not accept Uhlatsi back. Uhlatsi does not deserve you, does not deserve to be accepted by you. You need to choose yourself, prioritize yourself, put yourself first, and just make sure that you block out Uhlatsi out of your life, out of your mind. Hlatsi does not deserve your forgiveness. Hence, I have said that definitely I stand with Linkamva in these difficult times. I feel like Linkamva knows and understands exactly what he needs to know and what he needs to understand at this point in time. Even though he's like a bit mean, even when he's having encounters with his father Uhlatsi, he says it's clear bluntly that he has no feelings towards Uhlatsi. Uhlatsi is not his father anymore. And should anything bad even happen to Uhlati, he will celebrate. He will wake up in the morning, have a celebration, eat breakfast if he haven't already, and just go on with the day like it is. And Uhlati understands now the impact and the hurts that he did towards his children, because honestly Uhlati deserted his children, like honestly, and chased Uzoleka and felt like he is in heaven when he is with Uzoleka, forgetting that he have children with Utumega. Felt like he did not even want to have those children with Utumega. Like he have said some awful things. Hence I'm like, Likhati, bro, like you made your bed. At this point you made your bed. Please lie on your bed. Enjoy lying on your bed, because at this point, really, even I myself, I feel like a lust empathy when it comes to you. And then up next we have Uqhawekazi. Uqhawekazi now is moving back to be with her mom. Whenever Uqhawekazi is doing these ups and downs, I can tell that it definitely does hurt and affects Utumega, but Utumega is too kind and too good not to tell Uqhawekazi that, Qhawekazi, bro, like you need to stop with your up and down, okay? You need to choose one family and one family alone. But it feels like Utumega is too good for saying that as well. So therefore, she just kind of accepts his Uqhawekazi's up and down, which honestly, if you ask me, is not great. It's not great that Uqhawekazi keeps on doing this ups and down and toying with Utumega's feelings. But right now, Uqhawekazi decides that it's best for her to go back and be there for Uzoleka. Zoleka, who's going a difficult time according to Uqhawekazi. Zoleka is not going through any difficult time. If anything, Zoleka is living the best life of her life. Zoleka have a new crush, which is Lazarus. Zoleka and Lazarus are going on dinner dates. They are living their best life. They're having fun and enjoying each other's company. I feel like each and every time Utumega's feelings got hurt by Uqhawekazi. Honestly, I must say this. And I don't see and I don't accept why Uqhawekazi, or rather Utumega, keeps on taking back Uqhawekazi. Uqhawekazi just, I know it's very hard to ask a child to choose between her two moms. One is her biological mom, the other is the mom that actually raises her. So it's a bit difficult, it's a bit like difficult, a lot difficult to ask a child to do that. But also Qhawekazi just needs to realize is at this point that some tough love is needed. Some tough love coming in her way is definitely without a shadow of a doubt needed. Okay, Qhawekazi needs a bit of tough love at this point. But anyway, anyways, guys, you all tell me, what do you think? You all tell me, what do you all think? I love me some Linkamva. Oh, Sana, I love me some Linkamva. Hi guys, welcome back to this review. Now we are back again with another review of Inimba. Now let's talk about Linkamva. I like this boy, okay? The way he holds his parents accountable. Oh, and that scene that he was making peace with Zoleka. Zoleka was like, listen, I've never ever had a problem with you, and my house is your home. Any day, anytime, you are welcome in my house. Love me some Linkamva. Listen, did Hlati not go and make a fool of himself last night? In a party going uninvited? And this is just pushing his children further and further away. And unfortunate for Hlati, he has managed solely, just him single-handedly, managed to push Linkamva away. And when I tell you that Linkamva is going to be close to Lazarus and Hlati will not know what has hit him, when Linkamva is close to Lazarus, and he will realize that he has lost all his children chasing a ghost. Because why is this man chasing Zoleka? Like, if there is one thing that he's against, is to see Zoleka living a happy life. living a peaceful life. And when he realizes that that will be the cost of his life, that will be a cost of his life, when he then realizes that, listen, Zoleka is living a happy life. Zoleka, not just Zoleka is living a happy life, but Zoleka is living a peaceful life. And when he realizes that all his children are now standing with Zoleka, because one thing about Linkava has clogged Hlansi. He's like, I've clogged you, daddy. I have clocked you that you are definitely the bad one in the acronomy. You are definitely the wrong one in the acronomy. Love me some Linkamva. Love me some Linkamva. Please, man. What do you even mean?